Hi there, welcome back to Apatros Review. This episode, Hero in the Terror, directed by William Tannen in the year 1988. It's Chuck Norris time. Hi there, welcome back to Apatros Review, your guide to the wild world of science fiction, action, horror cinema with me, your host, Melissa Pico. Film was spelled name, just look at channel name. And before I go on, I should point out that the quality of this video is a little bit different than before. It's because I've upgraded my equipment. Anyway, now the film I'm reviewing this episode is Hero in the Terror, directed by William Tannen and written by Dennis Chirac and Michael Blodgett, based on Michael Blodgett's book, and his daughter actually makes a cameo appearance as one of the serial killer's victims in this, basically the preacher's daughter. And of course it stars Chuck Norris, Brian Fayer, Steve James, Jack O'Halloran, and Billy Drago. Now the DVD I'm reviewing is actually the Australian DVD from MGM Home Entertainment. Releases this film pretty much the same content across the board, and this one's region 4, but they're pretty much all the same. Pretty much. I'll get into that later on. Anyway, that's for the film. In 1985, Los Angeles patrol cop Danny O'Brien, while searching for the monstrous serial killer Simon Moon, also known as the Terror, confronts the silent killer Giant, and when his backup cops arrive, they find O'Brien kneeling over the comatose body of the Terror, getting O'Brien the nickname Hero for saving the day. But the reality is that Danny had only won the fight by a simple fluke. The Terror had knocked himself out when the ladder they were both standing on gave way, dropping the Terror like a bad habit. For 3 years, Danny has been having nightmares about that fateful afternoon, despite the good reputation he risked gained them. But when Simon Moon escapes from his mental hospital cell by using the old dental floss cutting through the metal bar trick, only with added graphite, technically not plausible enough for that quick a time. In reality, using dental floss cut from metal prison bars is technically plausible, but you need to floss 8 hours a night for 300 days straight to cut through one bar. And the beginning of that scene has Moon starting to cut through the last bar from the halfway point, so it should have taken him another 150 days to finish that one off. And crashing his prison van over a cliff. Considering how badly beaten up the van was when it fell off the cliff, well, there's no fucking way he could survive that. I don't give a rat's ass how crazy he is. Then taking a hiding spot inside a refurbished movie theater, killing random women by breaking their necks like chicken wishbones. Danny realizes that his nightmares will only stop once he settles the score with the Terror for once and for all. For Hero in the Terror, 1980s action star Chuck Norris makes his 7th and last feature for Canon Films by changing his modus operandi, by actually giving an acting performance for once, and toning down his fighting moves for a more sensitive portrayal of a conflicted LA cop whose golden reputation has been gained at the cost of his personal self-esteem, who, while he's tackling being a father for the first time with his preggers girlfriend, who was originally his therapist, go Chuck, finally gets a chance to put demons to rest by going gung-ho in his arch-nemesis, which means an ass-kicking from Chuck Norris you will never forget. This is a film that has unfortunately gained a negative reputation from Chuck Norris fans. The fact that the film was a massive flop didn't help things one bit, but since I judge acting by a different level to most other critics, I actually look at whether the actor convinces in their performance. If the role calls for them to act like either a robot or a maniac, then so be it, and I'll take note of how they sell the role as. No matter how they do it, the most important thing is conviction. That's how I see acting. I saw this as one of Chuck Norris's best performances. He actually gives a decent effort, before he went on to make films for his brother Aaron. And director William Tannen turns this into one of the best 1980s slasher films to be made before the decade ended. And even then, this film has an unusual vibe, being nearly half drama. The direction is very good, even throwing some jokes in the style of the infamous Chuck Norris facts. Let's go for some of them. 1. A purse snatcher is running down the street. Chuck Norris is standing next to a newspaper dispenser reading the morning paper, while his pregnant girlfriend is buying a pretty red dress. Before the crook can pass the shop, Chuck holds out his arm and clotheslines the crook, knocking him out cold. When his girlfriend asks, "What did he do?" Chuck answers, "He ran north instead of south." Alright, 2. Chuck Norris is undercover as a short order cook when he gets an unsatisfying customer who says, "These are the worst eggs I've ever had, man." To which Chuck responds, "Wait till you try the toast." And 3. Chuck Norris is so badass that on the rare occasion when the hulking psycho is throttling him while they're both on a wooden ladder, the rung the psycho is on realizes Chuck needs him to sacrifice his life, so the ladder rung breaks itself to knock the psycho off in order to save Norris. These are all in the film. The decision to turn Norris into a more sensitive badass was actually not that great for his box office draw at the time. In fact, his box office draw ended when this film flopped at number 12 in the opening weekend. But it did make for a better Chuck Norris film, and I strongly urge Chuck Norris fans to rediscover this one as Chuck Norris kicks ass as strong as Chuck Norris usually kicks ass. In other words, this is actually one of the best Chuck Norris films of the 1980s, by being different from the usual Chuck Norris movie. A solid effort at the B rung of my grading ladder. By the way, it's a 6 out of 10. So it's a solid film. As for the gore and nudity, the terror kills his victims by snapping their necks swiftly, which means almost no gore. But there are some brief boob shots when we see the dead victims pile up in the terrorist hidey holes with their tops open. I saw at least 3 pairs of dead boobs. As for the DVD, this is one of the many Chuck Norris movies from Canada to be released on the Australian DVD by MGM Home Entertainment, which has almost identical releases of this film worldwide. The picture looks like a late 1980s film should, with some of that characteristic 1980s age look, with a little grain here and there. At least they used real film back then instead of video or digital film stock, which for my money looks the opposite of what cinema should be, and some softness at red times, but otherwise looks as good as it should be. The soundtrack comes in 5 flavors. Besides the English stereo, you'll get German, French and Polish stereo, and a Spanish track that combines mono with the subwoofer channel. Weird one, that Spanish one. There are also 10 subtitle tracks, including the English hard of hearing track. All releases of this film have been uncut, so we don't need to worry about this one. But the American Region 1 release is the only DVD that actually has a supplement, which is a trailer. Whereas every other DVD of Hero and the Terror, including the Australian one, has absolutely no supplement at all. So if you want extras on these things, the American one only has a trailer. All the other releases around the world have nothing. And I should point out about the menu for this one, because this is like a late 2000s menu, and like around 2006 or so. So it's just a picture of Chuck Norris and the squares for the options, the icons. It makes it easier for people of different languages to navigate. Okay, that's it for that one. Hero and the Terror gets a B. Chuck Norris comes out swinging. I do not do requests, but if you want to know if I have particular films in my collection or any questions about DVDs, just hit me up in the comment section, I'll answer. A little surprise for you guys coming up for Halloween, so keep an eye out for that. Take it easy, guys, and see ya. That's it for this review.